Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 29th, 2025, and we now know the date of Marc Bernal's renewal. Also, Bayern Munich are back after Ronald Araujo. And finally, Grimaldo has been linked with a return to FC Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I'm bringing you this short live stream to bring you all the Barcelona news because I'm still not home. I'm out of the country. I'm away from my YouTube studio, so I cannot film, edit, and post. So instead, I've been doing these short lives just to bring you all the news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and let's begin with the news because we do have to talk about someone that we've been talking about for quite some time, and that is Franco Mastantuono, the 17-year-old attacking midfielder who currently plays for River Plate. Someone who actually I got the joy of watching live when I went to Argentina back in December. I saw a River Plate match. I got to see Franco Mastantuono for like about 20 minutes. I made a video about my visit to the city. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you do. But that's, of course, not the news. The news is that Barcelona continue to be interested and continue to track this youngster. In fact, Barcelona sent scouters to El Clásico, the Argentinian Clásico match on Sunday, where River Plate defeated Boca Juniors 2-1, and Barcelona scouters were there. In fact, Franco Mastantuono scored one hell of a banger, a goal from a free kick really far away, reminiscent of that Messi goal against Liverpool in the Champions League. I'm sure you guys remember that goal. It was one hell of a goal from the free kick spot as well. And while Franco Mastantuono scoring a very similar goal, if you haven't seen it yet, YouTube it. River Plate 2, Boca Juniors 1. What a goal. But anyways, Barcelona are still tracking this player, but it is getting very complicated because Franco Mastantuono is being heavily linked to Real Madrid, because this is what Real Madrid do, ladies and gentlemen. When Real Madrid have a failed season, how do they make up for it? They make up for it by spending a lot of money on big names that way, or at least emerging talent like Vinicius, Rodrigo back in the day. But that's what they do. They go and spend big money on big players in hopes to kind of distract the fans away from, look, we just had a terrible season. Here's a signing. Be happy about it. But anyways, Mastantuono is being heavily linked to Madrid. Of course, he's been linked to many clubs like Arsenal, pretty sure Chelsea, because let's be honest, he has a heart, a beating heart. He has working lungs, and that pretty much is the requirement for any Chelsea signings. So it is going to be very difficult for Barcelona. Most likely this is not going to happen because it's reported that River Plate want 45 million euros for the player, something that Barcelona cannot afford, especially for the midfield where we have 1 million players. Also, there are reports in Argentina stating that Mastantuono, whose contract expires in 2026, will most likely renew again in order to extend his contract, and that way River Plate can even ask for more money, which, of course, even makes it more impossible because if Barcelona are not willing to spend 45 million on a midfield, they're definitely not going to spend even more if Mastantuono does end up extending his contract. Now, on to the next bit of news, because we go from one 17-year-old to another, in this one, to a player that actually is a Barcelona player, which is Marc Bernal, our defensive midfielder who has been recovering from a very serious injury all season where he tore, I think it was ACL or MCL, one of his ligaments in his knee. He tore it. He had to undergo surgery. He's been out all season. He is, of course, expected to come back for next season. And, well, now we know when his contract renewal will be officially signed. Now, Marc Bernal is a 17-year-old, so he still doesn't have a professional contract. So Barcelona have been negotiating with him. And in fact, it's reported that Barcelona reached an agreement with Marc Bernal to extend his contract until 2029, where he's going to have his first professional contract, long contract with a very high release clause, and of course with an increase of salary. But Marc Bernal did not want to announce it yet, even though it was agreed to back in September, because Marc Bernal wanted to kind of like make it official once he is in his final phase of recovery. And since he's now in the final phase of his recovery, he's ready to make it official. And it's reported that the official signing of the contract renewal of Bernal will be on his 18th birthday, which is next month, more specifically May 26th. So on May 26th, Bernal will turn 18, and that's when he'll officially sign his contract renewal until 2029. Because, of course, Barcelona consider Marc Bernal as the defensive midfielder of Barcelona for the next 20 years. if possible. Now, on to the next bit of news, and now we do have to talk about Ronald Araujo from Argentina. We go to Uruguay because, ladies and gentlemen, Bayern Munich are once again back for Ronald Araujo. Now, German media are reporting that Bayern Munich are looking to rebuild their defensive line. They're looking to change a lot of pieces in their squad because they do have a lot of Asian players. We know Muller is not going to be there anymore. There's a lot of players they're going to leave. But anyways, they're also looking to rebuild their defensive line. And, of course, they're once again back and interested in Ronald Araujo. Now, as we know, Ronald Araujo did reserve in his contract when he renewed with Barcelona an exit clause, which would allow him to leave Barcelona during the first 15 days of the summer transfer market for 65 million euros, which is not a lot for a player like him. Definitely not a lot for a club like Bayern Munich, who have a lot of money. So we're going to have to wait and see whether Bayern Munich end up convincing the player to join the Bundesliga, because again, 65 million is not much for the German club, but it's all going to depend on Ronald Araujo, whether he wants to stay at Barcelona or whether he's going to want to go somewhere else. Now, speaking of the German league and German media outlets, we do have to talk about the next player, who is Grimaldo, the 29-year-old left back who currently plays for Bayer Leverkusen, where with the departure of Xabi Alonso, many players are going to follow suit as well. Unfortunately, that does happen to smaller clubs. They get a good coach, they get a good team, put it together, they win trophies, and then, like vultures, all big clubs come and pick the team apart, and then that small team, with the success that they have, it all goes to hell. Just look at Girona. They finished, top 3 last season or top 4 last season, and now they're in like 16th spot because, of course, the team was picked apart by many clubs. And it looks like the same thing is about to happen to Bayer Leverkusen, and Grimaldo is expected to leave Bayer Leverkusen this summer, and German media outlets are already linking him with a return to FC Barcelona. Now, his market value is around 40 million euros, so expect Bayer Leverkusen to want around 50 maybe, but that's not something that Barcelona are looking to spend. And, of course, we do know from previous video that I told you is that Barcelona are right now prioritizing a fullback that can play on both sides. And, of course, a fullback is not going to cost 50 million because, after all, Barcelona wants someone that can compete with both Jules Koundé and Gerard Martin. And given the limited resources of the club and given the limited financial fair play, they cannot sign 2 fullbacks. So instead, they're looking for one fullback who can play on both sides. They can compete with both Koundé and Alejandro Balde and Gerard Martin, and give the 2 starters some rest. So most likely this is only rumors, and that I'm sure Barcelona do have Grimaldo on their list and they would love to have him, but given the price, given his age, given the fact that they're looking for someone that can play on both sides, not really a priority for FC Barcelona. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did go live twice before this one, so this is the 3rd video of today because there's a lot of news to cover. Make sure to check out the other 2 videos, so I guess all 3 videos combined. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always,